back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and CoffeeStream number 253. I hope everyone's having a good day. Getting back into the swing of things here. Logan's back at... There we go. Where's the pause button? There it is. Logan's back at daycare and Alex is at school, and here I am. I'm using StreamYard today because there wasn't any time to make sure that OBS was OBSing properly. So I'm using StreamYard today and got some news up for you. And Pincalo just sent me more news.
Breaking. Trump or Nickelback responded to the photograph thing.
Oh, shit.
Turn off voiceover for half a second and I'll go into the DMs and grab it.
Oh.
Because it's a Star article.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Talk to the wonderful people.
Hold on, guys.
I got a minute. My phone hasn't rung yet, I don't think, except for that CRA scam call I just got.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was amusing.
But yeah.
Let's see who's in chat here while that's going on.
Come on.
Maddie's
Chrome.
here.
Oh, I am in Chrome, aren't I?
Yes.
So how do I do this?
Maddie's here and Zombie Teddy. Hello. You sound a lot better, says Zombie Teddy. Thank you. Hi, Pinky, says Zombie Teddy. Hey, it's the Swabby.
That's all I have to say about that.
And tomorrow I should have a headset, so you won't have to listen to my phone going click click.
Tomorrow,
click.
shit should be here by tonight.
Yes,
hopefully,
but
along with all my freaking
yes.
car parts.
However, I won't be streaming then, so the next time I will be streaming will be tomorrow, which is why I said that. Quiet.
You quiet.
No, it's my stream, and if I'm quiet, there'll be dead air.
That's okay. It's the only acceptable kind of dead air. Any other kind is not acceptable.
And remember,
fix your camera. Why is your camera all wonky and
I don't know. I didn't touch it.
Obviously, you did because it's completely...
Dude, you're right by the mic and you're shouting.
I don't care. There we go. That's Bella's pretty face.
Also, remember, I can't share my audio when I share the screen.
Yeah, it's the Toronto Star article, so you're fine.
Okay. So now we have a good we have a good amount of stories here. Where is it? Come on, Safari. Okay, we were gonna start with a different story, but this one's better. So we're gonna start with this, and then we're gonna learn about the bracelet, and because that's what I had up first. But I kind of want to see what Nickelback has to say. Don't fight. We can get this at home. Oh, we're not fighting. We're just playing around. Don't worry. Let's see here. What the hell is all over my desk? Anyway, let's find the headline here. There we go. Trump tweet of Nickelback video. It got removed. So the one where, and I'm sure we all know what video I'm talking about. So Twitter removed the tweet. Okay, let's see.
New York, Twitter has removed a tweet from President Donald Trump that featured an edited Nickelback music video clip that took aim at former Vice President Joe Biden.
Yeah, and it was fucking hilarious.
The post was removed because of a copyright complaint. It featured a doctored version of the band's 2005 music video photograph, showing singer Chad Kroeger holding a photo of Biden, his son, a Ukrainian gas executive, and another man.
Oh, come on, Chad. Did you really do that? Did you really copyright claim Trump? Chad, really? I mean, I was expecting you to be a bleeding heart liberal and not be happy about this, but really, Chad? Please tell me it was your freaking... Actually, well, even if it was Roadrunner, that's still your company, so Really, Chad?
Trump's tweet came as the president has repeatedly criticized Democrats for launching an impeachment inquiry into his telephone call with Ukraine's president, in which Trump pressed for an investigation of his Democratic rival Biden and his son. A Twitter spokeswoman said Thursday the company responded to valid copyright complaints sent to us by a copyright owner or their authorized representatives.
Yeah.
Nickelback representatives have not returned messages seeking comment. __. This story has been...
So it's obvious that it was Roadrunner that did the copyright claim. Which I was just kidding. I know. Removing the tweet doesn't stop people from uploading the video. No, it does not. It really does not. Irate, hello. It's also on Instagram. That's funny. Trump Lord Troll, it made me trust. Yeah. Wait, Maddie doesn't have a wrench? Why is that a thing? Let's see here. So that's just a quick little update on that story. That's kind of disappointing because I know that Roadrunner Records was started by Chad Kroeger. I'm pretty sure that's his company. Because Nickelback, I think it was because Nickelback wasn't getting signed. So I think they made their own company, but I can't remember the whole story. Good afternoon, 6. You do now, Maddie. What's on Instagram? That tweet that Trump put out yesterday with the little clip of a Nickelback song, the photograph. It's a little video that was on Twitter. That's on Instagram as well, but the tweet has been removed. So, yeah, that's funny. So now let's go over here to the wonderful bracelet. Let's read about the bracelet. So it says, call it a bracelet. It's a male bracelet, and once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. So this is posted today, or yesterday, sorry. And here's what it looks like. No, it says bracelet. Noun, a type of jewelry worn on the wrist by males over 25. Okay. My stack of beaded bracelets looks smashing with my chinos. Oh my god, if I ever heard a male utter that sentence, I first would laugh until I probably fell over on the floor, and then I would probably smack them. Ugh. It's also on Trump Jr.'s Twitter, says Pincalo. I say Coldplay should kick Chris Martin out of the band and hire Chad Kroeger. Yeah. Why do they have to rename it? Anyone can wear bracelets. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, have fun, Zombie Teddy. Hello, Uzi. doesn't understand the hatred of Nickelback, says Pincalo. See, I think they're just. I think the people that hate Nickelback, honey, because you said something about them making pussy-soaking music, I think they're just jealous because they cannot make pussies soaked, even if they were listening to Nickelback while they were trying. So I think that's why they're so jealous, because Chad doesn't actually have to touch people to get their pussies wet. He just has to write a song and perform it. And yeah, I think that's why. Yes, a bracelet. Oh, soy boy jewelry. That makes sense now, says Maddie. Yes. I think Trudeau should have a bracelet. Let's see. Just jealous? I don't have a dog in the Nickelback hunt. Nickelback is a group of more than competent musicians that sing mediocre to good material. They are not really remarkable. No, see, that's the thing. They're not when you look at Nickelback, they're not, you're on the same level anywhere close to, your Hendrixes, your Morrisons, your, and then you get a little bit more modern, your Keenans, your, Billy Corgans, your, Trent Reznors. They're not on the same level as they are, but they still play really enjoyable music. It's fun to sing to. It's fun to sing along to. It's fun to it's just fun music. It's not it's more than just rudimentary. They've got some good, chords. They can put chords together well. They can put, riffs together well. They can put they can put beats together well. Their bassist is, he's very good. But I'm right with you, Skep. I agree. They're not amazing, right? But they're not anywhere close to terrible. The people that hate the band criticize the music for sounding the same and having the same rhythm. Yeah. I don't hate Nickelback. I just think his vocals would sound better with Coldplay's sound. Interesting. Chad spent a straight year writing How You Remind Me, and it's and it's a song he based solely on the music market. Yep. Let's see.
Have you noticed? Dudes wearing bracelets are all around you. Prince Harry has been stacking beaded bracelets with abandon since he was a Link, rebellious teen. You were correct.
Do you know what I wore as bracelets when I was a, quote, rebellious teen? I wore, leather armbands with spikes on them. Who's going to take you seriously well, no one's going to take you seriously when you've got leather armbands with spikes on them either, but that's slightly more cool than beaded fucking bracelet. Are you guys just making the raver look popular now? Is that what's next? Are you gonna start twirling glow sticks with your beaded bracelets? I don't.
I've got a shocker for everybody in the audience. Men have been wearing bracelets for centuries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I don't get it. I tried to stay with music made before 2005. Yeah. Strange that people who hate Nickelback for having the same sound in all their songs are also big fans of AC/DC. Yep. Because I love AC/DC. I really do. However, they do have the same type of sound throughout their albums. And you know what? That's fine. Because they do it well. There's rock and roll AC/DC, teen rock Nickelback, and sleepy rock Coldplay. Angus, yep. So let's see here.
Orlando Bloom never takes his chain link bracelet off his wrist, it would appear. And Brad Pitt, where to begin? The 55-year-old father of a million wears a daily stack of at least 4 woven or beaded bracelets, but the man also indulges in a formal bracelet from time to time. Most recently, he wore a honking gold chain link bracelet to match his chunky gold-framed aviators and a big gold ring to a film premiere in Kim.
Of course he did, because it's Brad Pitt.
Even Prince Harry isn't immune to the charms of the bracelet image.
So that's, I guess, Prince Harry with his.
Even that's the thing about men in bracelets. The moment you notice a string of beads or a strap of leather on the wrist of an otherwise polished adult man, you start seeing them everywhere. Corporate silver fox in a $3,000 suit and a stack of seafoam glass and brown leather bracelets. Check. Outdoorsy daddy who probably runs a kayak rental service wearing cargo shorts and a stretchy wooden bracelet. Yep. The preppy 30-something guy on the streetcar who casually reaches his Brooks Brothers-clad arm up to ring the bell, only to reveal a thick leather strap on his hairy wrist. Correct. Your current...
Okay, who cares? Who got given this assignment? And why? And what is the point? I think Pincolo's right. I think this is an ad. What's my favorite Bon Scott song? Irates asks. That's hard. Night Prowler. Yeah, Night Prowler. That's my favorite. Followed by Let There Be Rock. The actual song Let There Be Rock. Not the... Well, you know what I mean. Followed by Dirty Deeds. Followed by Big Balls, just because that's funny. It's a funny song. And I'm like 12, apparently. Dead Air? Yes. Let's see. Look, you want to see my giant bucket mug? Looky, looky, looky. It even has writing on it. But my desk is not... Yeah, it's my giant bucket mug. I don't think I'll run out of coffee anymore during the streams, but I may have to go to the bathroom really badly by the end of the stream. So, all right, let's read more about this bracelet, which I think the more I read this article, the more I'm agreeing with Pincolo that this is definitely an ad. That coffee cup is as big as your head, says Uzi Q. It really is. Dirty Deeds is one of my favorite rock anthems, says Skeptalk. It's great. My God, says Irate. That is a big fucking coffee cup, says Skep. Yup. It surely is.
I used to associate bracelets with a little too old to still be a camp counselor types and the dudes who walk around town tugging on those big kazoo-like vapes. Turns out bracelets are everywhere. But women can wear bracelets, you cry. Completely fair point. Women have infinitely more opportunities to accessorize their wardrobes or accent their look based on their mood. But it seems there's a point in an adult woman's life when she shelves her stack of woven camp bracelets, while some dudes are sliding them on under the cufflinks peeking out of their Armani suits well into their 50s. The exception to that is when a trend like link, shell jewelry, Resurgence and grown trend-driven women everywhere start dressing like extras from Blue Crush. Guilty. It's probably fair to say that men don't have the same opportunity to indulge in accessories in the same "this is a fun throwback" kind of way.
This article sounds like it was written by a catty gay man who was told that this company that specifically makes male bracelets or broslets has bought ad space in the Star. So please, could you write an article about a broslet, catty gay man? Like, that's how this article is reading. This is ridiculous. I don't. This is weird. This is just weird. I'm you know what? We're gonna move on now because I'm done having my brain broken by this catty gay man. So let's switch gears here to something a little sad. But news is of all walks. It's sad, it's funny, it's what the heck, it's what the fuck, it's it's everywhere. So we're going to switch a bit of gears here. Knife attack at Paris police headquarters. 4 officers killed. So this was published today. So it's a fresh story updated 3 minutes ago. So this is, I guess, Paris police headquarters. So let's see.
Paris, an administrator armed with a knife attacked officers inside Paris police headquarters Thursday, killing at least 4 before he was fatally shot, officials said.
An administrator?
Paris, an administrator armed with a knife.
Oh, an administrator armed with a knife. So does that mean it was an office work, like a secretary type of dude that worked for the police headquarters, or?
Police union official Loïc Travers told reporters the attack appeared to have started in an office and continued elsewhere in the large police compound across the street from Notre Dame Cathedral.
Oh, wow.
The number of people injured was not immediately known. Travers said the motive is unknown, but that the 20-year police employee allegedly responsible for the attack worked in the intelligence unit and had not posed known problems until Thursday.
Weird. So this is a 20-year employee. He's an administrator working in the intelligence unit. Odd. Okay.
He said he could not remember an attack of this magnitude against officers. Emery Siamandi, who worked at police headquarters, said he was in the stairwell leading to the chief's office when he heard gunshots. I told myself, this isn't right, Siamandi said. Moments later, I saw 3 police women crying. I couldn't help them in any way, and their colleagues were crying, too, so I figured it must be serious.
Okay, of course it's not right when you hear gunshots ring out at police headquarters and you see people crying. Like, why do people say stupid shit like that? I guess it's the panic moment, and they get asked by reporters, when you heard this, what did you think? It's like...
He said he saw one officer on his knees in tears. The attack came a day after thousands of officers marched in Paris to protest low wages, long hours, and increasing suicides in the ranks.
So did this guy with the knife have a mental breakdown? Is that... Wow, that's messed up. Lindsay. Let's see. Lindsay, it's your birthday? Don't piss off the administrator, says Skip. Well, this is something I didn't want to expect on my birthday. Yeah, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lindsay. CreamStream 100 open house. Come celebrate. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Oh, Lindsay. Tomorrow for our stream, I need to push it back to I'm going to say 1:45, just to be safe. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning to figure out my back pain finally. So if you are still able to come and be a guest, I know it's about 45 minutes later than planned, but I don't want to cancel the stream entirely because I've canceled it pretty much all week this week. So if you're okay with starting a bit late, I'd still love to have you tomorrow, especially since it's your birthday today. So 12:45 in American time, yeah. Ha ha.
France's Prime Minister, Interior Minister, and the Paris prosecutor were at the scene, but the government had not issued a statement more than 2 hours after the rampage. The neighborhood where the police compound is located, a busy tourist destination, was locked down. The site metro stop was closed and the bridge between Notre Dame and the headquarters building was blocked off.
Well, yeah.
Paris weeps for its own this afternoon after this terrifying attack into police headquarters. The toll is heavy. Several officers lost their lives, Mayor Anne Hidalgo tweeted. Extremists repeatedly targeted French police in France in recent years. In 2017, a gunman opened fire on the Champs-Élysées Boulevard, killing one officer before he was shot to death. You are currently on a text element. In 2016, an attack inspired by the Islamic State group killed a police officer and his companion, an administrator, at their home in front of their child.
Oh. Well.
Claire Parker contributed.
Things are just lovely for police in France, aren't they? That's fine by me. That gives me extra time to sleep in. Oh, perfect. Okay. Beautiful. That is awesome. Okay. Yay, things are working out. So that's kind of a sad story. So let's see if we can find something else. Oh, here's something ridiculous. Let's read about this. Let's read about this ridiculous bullshit. Female Ontario surgeons are 24% less, earn 24% less than men, new study shows. Then why are Ontario hospitals not filled with women surgeons?
The operating room team, including surgeons, anesthesiologists, and nurses, begin preparing the patient for surgery. University Health Network. Toronto last up to published Wednesday. Toronto, a new study shows female surgeons in Ontario earn less per hour than their male peers, despite the province's clearly defined fee-for-service system.
Okay. Again, female surgeons are not learning less per hour. I'm guaranteeing you this right now. Female surgeons are more likely to go on things like maternity leave, stuff like that. So, of course, they're going to be earning less because they're not going to be there as much. Button. Safari has all the buttons. Yes. If it's not link, it's button. That's how that is. Guaranteed bullshit here, says Skeptalk. Yup.
The study, published today in the medical journal JAMA Surgery, analyzed data from more than 1.5 million surgical procedures claimed by 3,275 Ontario surgeons from the start of 2014 through 2016.
Okay.
It found that overall, women make 24% less per hour while operating, a gap linked to the types of surgeries they typically perform.
You just said it! You just said why! You just said why! They perform less expensive surgery. Therefore, they get paid less. It's not because they're doing the same. You are not going to tell me and have me believe that a female heart surgeon is going to make 24% less than a male heart surgeon who is doing the exact same open heart operation. Fuck off. Fuck off. That's not how that works. But if a woman surgeon is performing, let's say, a less invasive or less time-consuming operation, then they are going to make less because it is going to be because they're going to have to charge less using that fee-for-service system that was just mentioned. Hello, Mr. Dax. This is button. Who's got the button? So how much do the people who compile these statistics make? Asks Uzi. It's a very good question. Don't play the CoffeeStream drinking game. You'll end up with alcohol poisoning every time the screen reader says button or link. Yeah, you will. You really will.
FSK and the research found women perform far fewer of the highest paid primary procedures and are often driven towards less lucrative specializations.
No, they often pick the less lucrative specializations because they are less time consuming, which means they can balance career and family easier. So that would be why. It's not like when a woman, applies for medical school from the get-go, the dean is like, okay, let's figure out how we can get this woman to take classes that will only put her into a less lucrative medical career because she's a woman. Like, fuck, seriously, stop it. Just stop it. Feminists. Enough. Just enough. No, that cup is massive, Dax. It's huge.
Two of the study's authors, both surgeons at Toronto's St. Michael's Hospital, say it dispels the idea that a fee-for-service system such as the Ontario Health Insurance Program eliminates gender disparities in pay.
It does! Holy fuck, it does! It reflects the fact that women choose to become a different type of surgeon than men do, and that's fine. Why is this a problem? At least there are women doctors. What? I don't understand. I really don't understand. I am broken. Ugh. Cutting off a mole versus open heart surgery. Can you guess which surgical procedure pays more? Yeah, no kidding. That's ugh.
Dr. Fatima Dasa and Dr. Nancy Baxter say it also debunks the hypothesis that female surgeons may be earning less because they work shorter hours or less efficiently.
No, it doesn't debunk that at all. In fact, it proves that. And nobody said anything about females working less efficiently. It's all about females' freaking biological instinct and drive to have a family. Because females carry the offspring. I'm sorry, doctors who study biology, but this is something that you should kind of know, yes? I'm hoping that as a doctor you know biology. I really do hope that. Do you hear rage? Yes, you do. Tonsillectomy should not cost the same as open heart surgery. No, they should not.
Everyone's always trying to explain gender differences by pathologizing women. There's something wrong with women. There's something about the way women work or the way they negotiate or the way they behave in their space. Instead of saying that the system's kind of rigged against them, Baxter
But
said in
it's
an interview this
not.
week.
It's not rigged against them. And people pointing out that women are different than men is not, quote, pathologizing them and saying that there is something wrong with them. It is saying that women and men are different and they do different things and aspire for different things. And that used to be okay. And that used to be a strength in the human race. But apparently, we all have to be exactly the same, despite the fact that we all, look different and act different. But we all must be the same. We all must comply. Ugh.
We were trying to deconstruct many of the arguments and say, no, women are operating as quickly as men are, yet they end up making less per hour.
Because they're not doing the same things.
The pay gap persisted even after the researchers adjusted for specialty. The largest mean differences were in cardiothoracic surgery, where there was a discrepancy of $79.23, $59.64 per hour, and orthopedic surgery, where the gap was $73.66, $55.45.
Again, what types of orthopedic and cardiothoracic surgery are the women doing versus the men? Are they doing more simple, less time-consuming surgeries? Because that's probably why they're earning less if that's the case.
Male surgeons also earned more hourly than female surgeons in gynecology, even though there are more women in that field, the study found. The mean difference there amounted to $22.90, $17.24 per hour. When the 200 most common procedures were analyzed based on earnings per hour, the researchers found female surgeons performed more than a quarter of the least lucrative ones but less than 6% of the highest paid ones.
There you go.
The proportion of women performing an operation dropped as the pay per hour for the procedure increased, the study shows. The doctors say the dearth of women in certain surgical specialties limited some aspects of the research. We couldn't even include neurosurgery in some of our analyses because there are under 5 women in the specialty, Baxter said.
Shouldn't that tell you something? Shouldn't that explain exactly the opposite thing that you're trying to prove? Also, isn't there a difference between emergency surgeons and regular surgeons? Yes. Yes, there is. Inserting an IUD does not cost the same as a hysterectomy. No, Maddie, you're right. Okay, Doctor, we'll look at that. Must all have the same outcome without having the same responsibility. Yep.
In some cases, we didn't find statistical or mathematical differences between males and females, and that's because there were so few women in the specialty that our techniques for detecting the differences weren't sensitive. There were too few women to be able to make those assessments, Dawes added.
Again, that should tell you something.
The study also doesn't go into why women don't have the opportunity to perform higher paying surgeries, and Baxter and Dawes say that's something they would like to examine in the future.
They do have the opportunity to perform those surgeries. They just need to go to school for longer and choose not to have families and focus on their career. That's how their opportunity presents itself.
FSK under biases in the fee setting and referral processes likely play a role, Baxter said. When you look at who sets the fee codes for various procedures, in general, there aren't a lot of women at those tables. So you have men that are setting the fee codes that affect everybody, she said.
Oh, fuck off. The men set the fee codes, so therefore they're bad.
I think that there's substantial bias in that, and then there's the gamesmanship in terms of what referrals are accepted. It can be difficult to find surgeons willing to accept referrals for procedures that don't pay well for the time required, which means women, who typically get fewer referrals to begin with, often end up taking them on, she said.
Are you shitting on surgeons and saying that they don't have a Hippocratic oath, basically, and that all they care about is money? Is that what that doctor just said? Most surgeons don't care about the lower cost procedures because they cost less. So fuck being a doctor and fuck my Hippocratic oath. I want that money, bitch. Skep says women really gravitate towards gynecological and dermatological specialties. A lot of women doing skin surgeries. Yep. I may need oven mitts for this article. Yeah. That's insane. Let's see here.
They'll have to take the cases that other people turn down, she said. This report by the Canadian Press was first published October 2nd.
So that's that story with an incredibly sexist doctor authoring that study. So I don't know if you guys in the States ever heard of a team, a Canadian, a Saskatchewan sports team called the Humboldt Broncos. They were traveling, I believe it was home from a game. I think they were a hockey team. I think the Humboldt Broncos is a hockey team. I can't remember if it's hockey or football. But they were, I believe, traveling home on their bus. Yeah, hockey. They were a hockey team. This is the picture of the crash. It happened in, as it says there, just outside Tisdale, Saskatchewan. The Humboldt Broncos are a Saskatchewan hockey team. All of the team members died in the crash. And so this has been an ongoing thing. Male surgeons are also overrepresented in suicides. Want some of that action, girls? Says Skeptalk. No kidding. So let's see here. Here we go. Let's read this story here.
Edmonton, several families affected by the deadly Humboldt Broncos hockey bus crash say they are upset by an Alberta review of trucking regulations. Saskatchewan, Alberta, and Manitoba implemented mandatory training for truck and bus drivers after the crash in April 2018. Alberta Transportation Minister Rick McKeever has confirmed in a Facebook post that the province is taking another look at the rules for school bus drivers and farmers.
Okay.
Families of the 16 people who died and 13 who were injured took to social media to criticize the review. They have called the review disgusting and say a two-tiered system is ridiculous. Toby Bullitt, whose son Logan was killed in the Broncos crash, says the same rules need to apply to commercial and farm truck drivers. I will speak face-to-face with anyone who believes a load of grain has more value than my son's life, the Lethbridge dad said on Twitter. McKeever was not made available for an interview, but he said in the Facebook post late Tuesday that the province hasn't made any changes. No decisions have been made or will be made until we hear from all interested parties about the best way to proceed, said the posting. Our top priority at Alberta Transportation is the safety and security of drivers and families on Alberta's highways. Let me reassure you that we will not make any changes that compromise safety on our roads. Premier Jason Kenney made similar comments in Calgary on Tuesday, although both he and McKeever suggested the rules for school bus drivers and farmers could be relaxed.
No, I don't think that should be a thing. If you're driving a school bus full of kids, you better be held very, very, very much to account. And if you're a farmer, then you are transporting either food for, your local community, or, waste from your farm, or some, like, I don't know. If you're driving a big vehicle, I think you need to be properly trained, properly licensed. Yeah. This is, yeah.
If a farmer is simply taking their grain truck to the local elevator or perhaps to a regional terminal, and they have a perfect driving record and they're just driving their own product, I think some consideration might be given there, because they're not professional truckers in that case. They're not full-time truckers, Kenney said. This is a complex issue.
It is. You can't treat somebody like that, like a commercial, like a full-time truck driver, but you also can't treat a farmer driving their grain truck as though they're just driving a normal car either, because they're not. It's a big vehicle, takes up a lot of room, probably has a fairly large blind spot, probably doesn't stop too quickly. So it is a complex issue. I don't think you can have commercial driving rules for farm trucks, but I also don't think you can have just regular, like, I don't know. Goods is the word you're looking for. Yeah. Depends on the regs, the streets with mill. Yep. Big and heavy vehicle with a potentially changing center of mass. Yep.
Burlett and the other Alberta-based families involved in the Broncos crash say there's nothing complex about it. Shelby Hunter, whose brother Logan Hunter was killed, called it a terrible idea. As families, we are after change, and I believe one day we will live in a world where driver regulations are much stricter, she wrote on Twitter. Breaks my heart to know how many people's lives are at risk on these roads.
Okay, but driving laws are already pretty strict. What happened was a horrible, horrible tragedy, but I to say that driving laws aren't strict is not, that's disingenuous. I mean, and it's awful that all these people lost their lives and their families have to go on without them, but to say that the driving laws in Canada are not strict, that's not correct. I think the enforcement of some of those laws could be a little better. But to say that the driving laws aren't strict is that, I don't think that's accurate. I understand why they're saying it, because they're upset. They're upset. They're hurt. I get it. But you can't just say things like these laws aren't strict enough. I mean, we have pretty strict driving laws.
The Strasknitsky family in Airdrie, Alta, has also criticized the potential move in interviews and on social media. Typical gut, wrote Tom Strasknitsky on Twitter. Come visit all 29 of us and explain why they would do this. Hope it never happens to any of their kids or spouses or relatives.
Okay, but they're not. This is the problem when you're upset, is that you think that people who are trying to make changes for the good of everybody are just trying to say fuck you, but they're really not. And that crash was a horrible accident, but it was an accident. You know what I mean?
If it did, better changes would happen sooner than later. This report by the Canadian Press was first published October 2nd, 2019.
So that's that article. Let's see here. I wonder why my grandma called. I hope everything's okay. I'll have to give her a call later. So let's read about the dangers of distracted parenting, shall we? So the dangers of distracted parenting. When it comes to children's development, parents should worry less about kids' screen time and more about their own. That makes sense, actually. Let's see here.
Smartphones have by now been implicated in link. So many crummy outcomes. Comic car fatalities, sleep disturbances, empathy loss, relationship problems, failure to notice a clown on a unicycle. That it almost seems easier to list the things they don't mess up than the things they do. Our society may be reaching peak criticism of digital devices. Even so, emerging research suggests that a key problem remains underappreciated. It involves kids' development, but it's probably not what you think. More than screen-obsessed young children, we should be concerned about tuned-out parents. Yes, parents now have more face time with their children than did almost any parents in history. Despite a dramatic increase in the percentage of women in the workforce, mothers today astoundingly spend more time caring for their children than mothers did in the 1960s. But the engagement between parent and child is increasingly low quality. Even ersatz, parents are constantly present in their children's lives physically, but they are less emotionally attuned. To be clear, I'm not unsympathetic to parents in this predicament. My own adult children like to joke that they wouldn't have survived infancy if I'd had a smartphone in my clutches 25 years ago. You were correct. To argue that parents' use of screens is an underappreciated problem isn't to discount the direct risk screens pose to children. Substantial evidence suggests that many types of screen time, especially those involving fast-paced or violent imagery, are damaging to young brains. Today's preschoolers spend more than 4 hours a day facing a screen, and, since 1970, the average age of onset of regular screen use has gone from 4 years to just 4 months. Some of the newer interactive games kids play on phones or tablets link may be more benign than watching TV or YouTube, in that they better mimic children's natural play behaviors. And, of course, many well-functioning adults survived a mind-numbing childhood spent watching a lot of cognitive garbage. My mother, unusually for her time, prohibited Speed Racer on Gilligan's Island on the grounds of insipidness. That I somehow managed to watch every single episode of each show scores of times has never been explained. Still, no one really disputes the tremendous opportunity costs to young children who are plugged into a screen. Time spent on devices is time not spent actively exploring the world and relating to other human beings.
Yeah, that's true.
Yet for all the talk about children's screen time, surprisingly little attention is paid to screen use by parents themselves, who now suffer from what? Link. The technology expert Linda Stone, more than 20 years ago, called continuous partial attention. This condition is harming not just us. As Stone has argued, it is harming our children. The new parental interaction style can interrupt an ancient emotional cueing system, whose hallmark is responsive communication, the basis of most human learning. We're in uncharted territory.
Okay, so it's disrupting the instinct that makes you almost vigilant, I'm guessing. Even if you're not right there with your kid, you're somehow tuned in, right? But when you're on your screen, don't be a chopper parent, says Straight Says Mail. But look for bad size. Yeah. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if this article encourages helicopter parent culture. Good rule of thumb, know what your kids are doing. Yep. The dangers of distracted parenting. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Yeah. Called me old-fashioned, but I think there should be a balance of supervision and freedom when it comes to raising a child. You're right, Lindsay. That's what Pincalo and I try to do. We try to balance, okay, go play with, okay, now it's time to, be a supervised unit. And it's good to let kids explore and do things on their own. And it helps a parent to just sit back for a few minutes and, collect themselves and, look at something that's adult, as long as they don't get completely engrossed in it.
Menu extras. Safari. Child development experts have different names for the dyadic signaling system between adult and child, which builds the basic architecture of the brain. Jack P. Shonkoff, a pediatrician and the director of Harvard's Center on the Developing Child, calls it the serve and return style of communication. The psychologists Kathy Hirsch-Pasek and Roberta McNicholinkoff describe a conversational duet. The vocal patterns parents everywhere tend to adopt during exchanges with infants and toddlers are marked by a higher-pitched tone, simplified grammar, and engaged, exaggerated enthusiasm. Though this talk is cloying to adult observers, babies can't get enough of it. Not only that, one study showed that infants exposed to this interactive, emotionally responsive speech style at 11 months and 14 months knew twice as many words at age 2 as ones who weren't exposed to it. Child development is relational, which is why, in one experiment, 9-month-old babies who received a few hours of Mandarin instruction from a live human could isolate specific phonetic elements in the language, while another group of babies who received the exact same instruction via video could not. According to Hirsch-Pasek, a professor at Temple University and a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, more and more studies are confirming the importance of conversation. Language is the single best predictor of school achievement, she told me, and the key to strong language skills are those back and forth fluent conversations between young children and adults.
Okay.
A problem therefore arises when the emotionally resonant adult-child cueing system so essential to early learning is interrupted by a text, for example, or a quick check-in on Instagram. Anyone who's been mowed down by a smartphone-impaired stroller operator can attest to the ubiquity of the phenomenon. One consequence of such scenarios, link, has been noted by an economist who tracked a rise in children's injuries as smartphones became prevalent. AT&T rolled out smartphone service at different times in different places, thereby creating an intriguing natural experiment. Area by area, as smartphone adoption rose, childhood ER visits increased. These findings attracted a decent bit of media attention to the physical dangers posed by distracted parenting, but we have been slower to reckon with its impact on children's cognitive development. Toddlers cannot learn when we break the flow of conversations by picking up our cell phones or looking at the text that whizzes by our screens, Hirsch-Pasek said. You are currently on...
No, but you can't be, like, there's nothing wrong with if your child is, reading if your child is having creative play on their own and you're just supervising them to make sure that they're okay. There is nothing wrong with quickly looking at your phone for a couple of minutes to regain some of your feeling of adultness, and before you go back to being the happy, engaged parent with the high voice and the smile and the, making sure you articulate all your words so that they learn them, and being on your ball and playing with them all. It's fun. It is fun to play with your kids, but it's also very tiring. Let's see. Humans need human interaction. This includes children. Yep. You can't let technology raise your kids. No, you can't. But you also can't be there all the time. Why would you give a child a smartphone? What the fuck? I don't understand that either. Alex had a iPad for 6 months that we put, I think he had 5 apps on it. They were like color, learn your colors, learn your shapes. And I think it had YouTube Kids on it for a month and a half, and then that got taken off. and it stopped like the charging port. I think there was something wrong with the charging port because it stopped charging, and we just decided, no, he's not getting another tablet. He's too little for it. And I mean, like he doesn't. Neither him or Logan have tablets now. Neither him or Logan have a device or anything like that. If they're watching something, they're watching it on the TV, and we're actually trying to cut back the TV a bit because Alex is starting to like he likes to pretend that he's playing whatever he's watching, and he's getting like too into it. So we're trying to get that back under control and find a good balance. But yeah, these parents with, they've got a tablet and their toddler has a tablet, and like everybody in the house has a tablet, that I don't get. OMG, this lecture is more boring than whale poop. Oof. There has to be a balance between playing and interaction with your child and then letting your child just play. Yep, there does. Because your kid, I was relieved to see my husband's cousin's small boys playing with Play-Doh and not have their head shoved in a screen. That's good. Play-Doh's fun. I really like Play-Doh. But yeah, you've got to find that balance between, interacting with your kids and letting your kids learn how to be independent, especially when they get a bit older. Like obviously when they're babies and toddlers, you got to be right there with them most of the time. But as they grow up, it's more important than ever to let them know about independent play, because it not only teaches them about what they like to do on their own and what types of things interest them, but it also teaches them that when mom and dad go away, they come back, and they're always going to come back, right? And that's a good lesson to learn as well, is that, mom and dad go away sometimes, but that doesn't mean that they've abandoned me. They will come back for me and everything will be fine. I'm just going to play for a bit now and, have some fun. Like that's a very important lesson.
In the early 2010s, researchers in Boston surreptitiously observed 55 caregivers eating with one or more children in fast food restaurants. 40 of the adults were absorbed with their phones to varying degrees, some almost entirely ignoring the children. The researchers found that typing and swiping were bigger culprits in this regard than taking a call. Unsurprisingly, many of the children began to make bids for attention, which were frequently ignored. A follow-up study brought 225 mothers and their approximately 6-year-old children into a familiar setting and videotaped their interactions as each parent and child were given foods to try. During the observation period, a quarter of the mothers spontaneously used their phone, and those who did initiated substantially fewer verbal and nonverbal interactions with their child.
See, and I don't know if it's because I'm blind, but like when I'm at the park and I'm done pushing Alex on the swings and he goes over to the climbing area, I go sit on the bench and I will be on my phone. I'll be looking at Twitter or something like that. But I'm also listening to him and talking to him and going, hey, Alex, what are you doing now? Are you on the monkey bars or are you on the slide? Oh, I hear you spinning the steering wheel. Are you pretending to drive? Or if I hear him interacting with other kids and he gets kind of bossy, I'm like, hey, Alex, hey, that's enough. You don't boss people around. I don't know if it's because I'm not actually looking at my phone. Yeah, I'm listening to it, right? But I don't know if it's because my brain has split. It's weird. I don't know. When I was a kid, says Cynical Lindsay, My routine was go outside and play till the streetlights came on. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. It was the same for me. It was go outside till the streetlights come on, and you'll know them when they're on because I'll be calling for you. You know, just listen for my voice. That's what my mom was like.
Yet another rigorously designed experiment, this one conducted in the Philadelphia area by Hirsch Pasek, Galinkoff, and Temple's Jessa Reed, tested the impact of parental cell phone use on children's language learning. 38 mothers and their 2-year-olds were brought into a room. The mothers were then told that they would need to teach their children 2 new words, blicking, which was to mean bouncing, and you're frepping, which was to mean shaking, and were given a phone so that investigators could contact them from another room. When the mothers were interrupted by a call, the children did not learn the word, but otherwise they did. In an ironic code out of this study, the researchers had to exclude 7 mothers from the analysis because they didn't answer the phone, failing to follow protocol. Good for them. You are correct. It has never been easy to balance adults and children's needs, much less their desires, and it's naive to imagine that children could ever be the unwavering center of parental attention. Parents have always left kids to entertain themselves at times, messing about in boats, in a memorable phrase from The Wind in the Willows, or just lounging aimlessly in playpens. In some respects, 21st century children's screen time is not very different from the mother's helpers every generation of adults has relied on to keep children occupied. When parents lack playpens, real or proverbial, mayhem is rarely notifications sent.
Stop it.
But so far, occasional parental it has never been easy to balance adults and children's needs, much less their desires, and it's naive to imagine that children could ever be the unwavering center of parental attention. Parents have always left kids to entertain themselves at times, messing about in boats, in a memorable phrase from The Wind in the Willows,
Yep.
or just lounging aimlessly in playpens. In some respects, 21st century children's screen time is not very different from the mother's helpers every generation of adults has relied on to keep children occupied. When parents lack playpens, real or proverbial, mayhem is rarely far behind.
Yep.
Caroline Fraser's recent biography of Laura Ingalls Wilder, the author of Little House on the Prairie, describes the exceptionally ad hoc parenting style of 19th century frontier parents, who stashed babies on the open doors of ovens for warmth and otherwise left them vulnerable to all manner of accidents as their mothers tried to cope with competing responsibilities. Wilder herself recounted a variety of near calamities with her young daughter, Rose. At one point she looked up from her chores to see a pair of riding ponies leaping over the toddler's head.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Occasional parental inattention is not catastrophic, and may even build resilience, but chronic distraction is another story. Smartphone use has been associated with a familiar sign of addiction. Distracted adults grow irritable when their phone use is interrupted. They not only miss emotional cues but actually misread them. A tuned-out parent may be quicker to anger than an engaged one, assuming that her child is trying to be manipulative when, in reality, she just wants attention. Short, deliberate separations can of course be harmless, even healthy, for parent and child alike, especially as children get older and require more independence. But that sort of separation is different from the inattention that occurs when a parent is with a child but communicating through his or her non-engagement that the child is less valuable than an email. A mother telling kids to go out and play, a father saying he needs to concentrate on a chore for the next half hour. These are entirely reasonable responses to the competing demands of adult life. What's going on today, however, is the rise of unpredictable care, governed by the beeps and enticements of smartphones. We seem to have stumbled into the worst model of parenting imaginable, always present physically, thereby blocking children's autonomy, yet only fitfully present emotionally.
Interesting.
Fixing the problem won't be easy, especially given that it compounded dramatic changes in education. Young children than ever, about 2/3 of 4-year-olds, are in some form of institutional care. And link. Recent trends in early childhood education have filled many of their classrooms with highly scripted lessons and dull, one-sided teacher talk. In such environments, children have few opportunities for spontaneous conversation.
What are you talking about? All of the stuff where I've seen for like care for 4 and 5-year-olds, like even Alex's classes, like his school, he's always, playing with numbered like magnet tiles and lettered magnet tiles and building things and, stringing beads on pipe cleaners and playing with number cards. And I don't know. This seems a little, I don't know. The tech age did evolve very quickly, Johnny Hellcat. You are correct. And I don't think we quite Is it me or does the reader have a Canadian accent? Says Zombie Teddy. Didn't notice actually. That's kind of funny. I don't know. This article does bring up some good points, but it does have a bit of a bias as well. That's interesting.
One piece of good news is that young children are pre-wired to get what they need from adults, as most of us discover the first time our diverted gaze is jerked back by a pair of pudgy, reproaching hands. Young children will do a lot to get a distracted adult's attention, and if we don't change our behavior, they will attempt to do it for us. We can expect to see a lot more tantrums as today's toddlers age into school, but eventually, children may give up. It takes two to tango, and studies from Romanian orphanages showed the world that there are limits to what a baby brain can do without a willing dance partner. The truth is, we don't really know how much our kids will suffer when we fail to engage.
So then just find a balance. Don't bury yourself in your phone, but don't jump whenever they make a squeaky noise. So we've got three more stories to do and 20 more minutes. So I think we can do that. So let's read this Facebook thing, and then we'll end with our sciencey articles, because I've got 2 of those for you guys today. Pinkalo's good. Dr. No, he's just headed back out to drive. Back to work, so he's good. Let's see here. Where's the headline? Facebook can be forced to remove content worldwide after landmark EU court ruling. Facebook slams ruling, saying it's not the role of social platforms to monitor, interpret, and remove speech that may be illegal in any particular country. Oh, so now that you're being censored, Facebook, now you have a problem. But when people say things that you don't agree with ideologically, well, just ban the fuck out of them, right? Oh, wow. That's special.
Facebook can be forced to remove content worldwide after landmark EU court ruling. Link. Tumblr. Link.
Sorry?
Brussels. Facebook can be ordered to police and remove illegal content worldwide, Europe's top court said on Thursday, in a landmark ruling that rights activists say raises concerns some countries could use it to silence critics.
No shit, Sherlock.
The judgment means social platforms can be forced to seek out hateful content deemed illegal by a national court in the 28-country bloc rather than wait for requests to remove posts as it currently does under EU rules. Facebook and other platforms can also be made to comply with requests to take down content globally, even in countries where it is not illegal, the Luxembourg-based Court of Justice of the European Union, CJEU, ruled.
That is wrong. Incredibly wrong. That is holy shit. How are they planning to enforce that? How do you enforce that? Especially intercontinentally. How do you says the platform that suppresses conservatives or conservative thoughts, says Maddie. Yeah. This is insane.
See also. Your current link. The judgment came just a week after the same court told Google that it does not have to apply Europe's right to be forgotten law globally, garnering praise from freedom of speech advocates as courts try and figure out just how much responsibility for content platforms should take.
Oh, so it's playing favorites. I see.
EU law does not preclude a host provider like Facebook from being ordered to remove identical and, in certain circumstances, equivalent comments previously declared to be illegal, the court said in a statement. In addition, EU law does not preclude such an injunction from producing effects worldwide, within the framework of the relevant international law. Facebook slammed the ruling, saying that it was not the role of social platforms to monitor, interpret, and remove speech that may be illegal in any particular country.
No, it also has no right to remove people's for people for saying things that they don't believe, but they do that. So
it undermines the long-standing principle that one country does not have the right to impose its laws on speech on another country. It also opens the door to obligations being imposed on internet companies to proactively monitor content and then interpret if it is equivalent to content that has been found to be illegal, the company said. In order to get this right, national courts will have to set out very clear definitions on what identical and equivalent means in practice. We hope the courts take a proportionate and measured approach to avoid having a chilling effect on freedom of expression.
Or the International Court could stay the fuck out of free speech. Just a thought. This is crazy. Oh, this is just sad. Wow. Okay. So, let's go to our science articles here, and then that will be the end of the show. Let's do the comet one first. So, comet from another star system is on its way in, and astronomers say to expect more. Okay, let's see about this comet. So this is the comet from the Gemini Observatory in Mauna Kea. Comet 2I/Bory. Oh. There we go. So that's the so let's read about this comet here. This is pretty cool.
For the second time in just under 2 years, astronomers have confirmed that we are being buzzed by an interstellar visitor, and some experts estimate that we'll be seeing more of them.
Cool.
In early September, amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov discovered a comet using a homemade 0.65-meter telescope. Early observations by professional astronomers suggested the orbit of the object took it outside our solar system, though further observations were needed to confirm.
Okay, so in its orbit, it kind of comes in through the solar system and back out
Last
again.
week, the International Astronomical Union's IAU Eurolink Minor Planet Center MPC was able to calculate a preliminary orbit, which verified that the comet had a hyperbolic orbit, meaning that it is orbiting in a way that prevents it from being captured by the sun's gravity. You were correct.
Okay.
The comet was officially named 2I/Borisov by the MPC on September 24th. Comets are usually named after their discoverer. The 2I in the name designates it as the second interstellar object detected. It will make its closest approach to the sun, called perihelion, on December 7th. It will be roughly 300 million kilometers from both the sun and Earth. It's even anticipated that amateur astronomers will be able to see it through large telescopes.
Cool.
Astronomers are excited by the new find as it comes hot on the heels of the first discovery of an interstellar object. Link. 1I/Oumuamua. Discovered in October 2017, but they believe these are the first of many.
Okay.
I think what this is telling us is that probably these are more common than we thought, said Peter Brown, professor of physics and astronomy at Western University in London, ONT.
Yes, Western's actually a pretty good school.
This illustration shows the orbit of the only two known interstellar visitors, comets 1I/Oumuamua and 2I/Borisov. Wikimedia/Tony 873,004 figure.
Okay, so that's the orbit of both comets. That's what that looks like. Let's see. Let's see. Someone contact Bruce Willis. Have a deep drill job for him.
This illustration shows the end of this. It's not that our solar system has suddenly become a shooting gallery for interstellar objects. It's just likely that we're getting better at finding them.
Yeah, probably.
Brown believes that one of the reasons for this is the increase in sky surveys, which use telescopes that constantly scan the sky, specifically searching for asteroids and comets. Pan-STARRS is one such survey, and detected one I/Oumuamua, which was then confirmed by Canadian Robert Warwick, who was working out of the University of Hawaii's Institute for Astronomy. And there are more sky surveys to come. I think when the Large Synoptic Survey Telescope comes on the line in a few years, this will be once a year we'll be finding something, Brown said.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think that this is not oh my God, the solar system is passing through a huge cloud of comets. I think this is our technology is developing and allowing us to find more and more asteroids, comets, all that fun stuff.
That device, or LSST, is an 8.4-meter telescope in Chile scheduled to be fully operational in 2023. Among its objectives is to find hazardous asteroids.
Okay.
But the thing is, Comet Joy/Borisov wasn't found by a sky survey at all, but rather by an amateur astronomer using a fairly large telescope. Heading Level 2, Amateur Contributions. Your amateurs do great work, said Norm Murray, a professor at the University of Toronto's Department of Astronomy and Astrophysics and at the Canadian Institute for Theoretical Astrophysics. And a lot of them are pretty technically sophisticated. And it's true that up until fairly recently most comets were found by amateurs, so that part is not surprising. But what is surprising is that they're discovering something of this magnitude, something that Brown also appreciates. I think it just shows there's still a niche for amateurs. It's just fantastic, Brown said. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of things we haven't seen before.
Cool.
Heading Level 2, Differences in the Interstellar Objects. The interesting thing about the two interstellar objects is just how different they are. Oumuamua, as the buddy is known in astronomers' shorthand, shows characteristics of both an asteroid and a comet. For one, orbital data suggested that it was outgassing, a process where ice turns from a solid to a gas, skipping the water stage. This is what produces the tails we must associate with comets.
Right.
This artist's impression shows the first interstellar asteroid, Oumuamua. Observations from the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in Chile and other observatories show this unique object was traveling through space for millions of years before its chance encounter with our star system.
So that's the first comet.
However, the issue was, it was invisible. The only reason astronomers could tell that it was outgassing was that something was nudging it slightly along its trajectory, which they concluded was due to escaping gases. But optically, it still remained as a point in the sky, missing the characteristic comet tail.
Okay, so I gotcha. All right.
And Oumuamua was small, roughly 100 meters, and shaped more like a cigar.
Huh.
On the other hand, Borisov has already shown signs of a cometary tail, and it's estimated to be a few kilometers in diameter with a more traditional round shape.
Okay.
These findings suggest that the two were formed differently.
Yeah.
You list one item. Bullet and list one bullet. And one
That's
came
really
from a
cool.
system like our sun with comets around it, and the other one came from somewhere else, Murray said. What's most exciting for astronomers is that, while Oumuamua was discovered as it was on its way out of the solar system, Borisov was discovered on its way in, which means, instead of just a few weeks of observations, they will be able to study far more in depth than they were able to with Oumuamua.
Awesome. That's pretty cool. So they found this second one coming in, and they'll be able to look at it longer as it travels through and exits. Let's see. As a person who studies space, including dark holes, this is wrong. And now everything wants to kill us. Yeah, the universe isn't Australia.
Unfortunately, it's likely that we won't know from which star system Borisov originated. Its size suggests that it's quite old, which makes it more difficult to trace back in time, over perhaps tens of millions of years. Murray said that what is exciting is that astronomers have been looking for these objects for some time, but had theorized that, using sky surveys like the upcoming LSST, we could only expect to find one every 100 years. Instead, here we have two, one discovered by a sky survey, the other by an amateur astronomer. You were correct.
That's awesome.
So what does that tell us about our expectations? Expectations are dominated by things we already know, said Murray. We have no imagination. That's what it tells you.
Let's see. Let's see. The whole tail thing. What, the one where the tail thing being invisible? So that's that story, and we've got time for our last story. We're going to do this one here. So where is it here? NASA scientist says we're close to huge reveal about life on Mars, and humanity isn't prepared for it. Yeah, there's no life on Mars, and people are going to be very disappointed. So let's see here.
A top scientist at NASA says the agency will soon disclose something revolutionary about alien life forms. Your Planetary Science Division Director Dr. Jim Green boasted the agency's close to making some announcements about finding life on Mars, but that we're not ready for it. A top NASA scientist says the agency's close to making an announcement about life on Mars. Credit, Getty. Link 3. A top NASA scientist says the agency's close to making an announcement about life on Mars. Credit, get end of speaking to the link. Telegraph. He warned that the world isn't prepared for the discovery of life on another planet, which may only be a couple of years away.
Okay. Sorry, half lurking. Anyone see that movie Night of the Comet? No. There's a Starbucks on Mars. That would be terrifying. What do they mean we're not ready? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I really don't.
It will be revolutionary, Dr. Green said. It's like when Copernicus stated no, we go around the sun. Completely revolutionary. It will start a whole new line of thinking. I don't think we're prepared for the results. We're not.
Okay. Are you sure you guys didn't find something of like minimal or slightly higher curiosity and you're really excited and now you're doing the whole pompous scientist thing like, oh, look what we found. You guys aren't going to believe it. You're not ready for it. And it's going to be something so anticlimactic and everyone's going to go, that's it? Not ready. Is this some first contact kind of thing? Yeah, I know, right? Stop using... What? Stop using... Stop using me to read that article. In case you don't know, I talked to a person named Zell and he says I sound like a text-to-speech thing. Ah. Life came from space. Just watch Ancient Aliens. Yeah. It's a joke.
He added that he's worried because NASA is close to finding life and announcing the discovery, and he doesn't know what will happen afterwards.
Oh boy.
Top NASA scientist Dr. Jim Green warned that the world isn't prepared for the discovery of life on another planet. Credit.
I think this is totally something that's like really, really like an interesting discovery nonetheless, but not as big as they're saying. And they're, like I said, oh, you guys aren't ready. You guys aren't ready. And it's going to be something so innocuous. It's going to be like, okay, that's interesting. But like, what do you mean we weren't ready for that? It's going to be something stupidly anticlimactic. Watch.
Link. Top NASA 3. Top NASA scientist Dr. Credit, NASA. End of. What happens next is a whole new set of scientific questions, Dr. Green continued. Is that life like us? How are we related? Can life move from planet to planet, or do we have a spark in just the right environment and that spark generates life, like us or not like us, based on the chemical environment that it is in? In a statement, NASA said it is excited about future missions to Mars, as well as the prospect of finding life on another planet. A key component of NASA's work is to search for the building blocks and signs of life elsewhere, and we're excited about the scientific findings of our rovers on Mars currently and upcoming, as well as missions to Europa, Titan, and other places, a spokesperson told. Link. Fox News. Period. Any life we find on the red planet is likely to be microscopic, rather than huge human-like beings. Credit. Getty.
Yes.
3. Any end of any. Just as NASA astronauts landing on the moon changed our conception of our place in the universe, the discovery of life elsewhere also would be a civilization-changing event.
Yes, it would.
As with all discoveries, NASA would work to confirm and share validated information with the world as soon as possible. You are currently the space agency is scheduled to launch its Mars 2020 rover next July. Among other things, the robot will hunt for signs of extraterrestrial life on the red planet.
Isn't that what all of the rovers have been doing? Isn't that what Curiosity did and Spirit and like? Isn't that what? Oh, silly. Let's see. Let's see. Thanks to sci-fi, we've been ready for decades. Yes, we have, thankfully. And guys, we have come to the end of our show. That is all of the stories I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I've got a whole bunch of I've got some fun things that Lindsay and I are going to be talking about tomorrow, and I think we're going to have a really fun time. Remember, guys, we're starting a little bit later than usual, probably 12:45 Eastern, which is 11:45 Central, just because I have a doctor's appointment. So don't worry if you guys come to watch the coffee stream at the regular time and it's not there. There is a stream tomorrow. I just have a doctor's appointment in the morning, and I want to make sure I'm back in time. I'm looking forward to it too, Lindsay. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, remember to tune in on Saturday for the Star Trek stream at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and it's Skep Talk's turn for his top 3 TNG picks. I know one of them is Offspring. He's going to let us know what the other 2 will be before then. And we will have lots of fun talking about that as well. Also, don't forget, if you are subscribed to Irate Prostate, go watch the Cream stream tomorrow at midnight on his channel. And he's also doing hot takes tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. I believe they're doing Mindhunter Season 2, which was fucking amazing. Also, Minions of the Zoo tonight. I'm feeling well enough to go and hang out with Prospero, who is Keeper tonight. So go check that out as well. I hope everyone has Is it because Skep wants to build a woman? That's funny. That's funny, Mr. Dax. I hope everyone has a phenomenal rest of their Thursday. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the fall weather. And Lindsay and I will see you tomorrow afternoon. Have a great day, guys. We will see you tomorrow.